Hello and welcome back to Speed Freak Garage, home of PowerSports on YouTube. First of all, Merry Christmas. It is December 25th, 2019. We are ending our third year of working on this disaster project, so Merry Christmas. Yesterday was family Christmas, so it's not like I'm hiding from my family or anything. So we are going to work on this car a little bit. So the very next step is to have all the new steel painted, because our friends at Ecotech Import Automotive in St. Louis, Missouri did an amazing job. They did a ton of welding, a ton of custom craftsmanship to get the seats mounted properly with the proper belts and bars and blah, blah, blah. But it's all got to be painted. So I got to take all this shit back apart. You know, they did all that hard work, and I got to strip it down and take it all back apart. So, and I'm going to have to cover some of this stuff somehow to keep paint overspray from getting on it. I got to take this back off because there's no paint under this bar, we found out the hard way. So, luckily all of these have quick disconnects, so we're just going to drop everything in the seat and hopefully just kind of lift it all out as one piece. So, it's not an easy task, but it's better than like having to unbolt the belts manually, right? So, okay, so that's in. That's gonna be tough. These, please have a quick disconnect. They're kind of hard to see under here. Oh boy, just gonna have to feel it. Oh boy. Come on. Might have to take the seat loose to get to those. So let's do these next. And these aren't easy. So you gotta pull this strap first. And you don't want to like hang these straps off anything sharp because they're very expensive. If you got a cut on your seatbelt and you don't notice, and then you go to tech inspection and they're like, your seatbelt's garbage, and then it's like, well, there goes all my money and time. Yeah. So, oops. Okay, so that's done. And there's a lot of rules about how you have to wrap these. There's a lot of rules about how much, like, you have to have a certain amount of extra, which in this case we got plenty, but, damn, this one's not cooperating. There we go. So, and then generally the first couple times you use these belts, they stretch a little tiny bit, so you'll find yourself having to go back and, fix them up. Okay. So, all right, now we can try and get the seat out. Should be able to just get my electric ratchet. I really haven't had much opportunity. 1:42 already. Is that clock right? Oh boy. Although I'm sure my girlfriend's enjoying her peaceful time on her own. Everybody needs some. Okay. Oh, that's tighten. Come on. Nope. Hopefully they're not too tight, but they could be. Okay, and then I need, oh, I got one. Okay. And really, these seats will have to stay out because, oh, that one's tight. because they're in the way of doing all the other work I got to do. So now I know that the seats are right. I can just get them out and put them up on the shelf and keep them out of harm's way, flying sparks or whatever. Yeah, that's not gonna work. I'll have to use a ratcheting wrench, or I might be able to fit my... I wish that this ratchet was a little slimmer, but obviously it wouldn't be very strong if it was, so kind of just got to deal with it. Yeah, Ecotech said that they had a lot of problems with how weak this metal is, and you guys saw us struggle with that up here. I mean, obviously it's going to be really weak up here where it's not structural, but they had to weld in a bunch of reinforcement plates and stuff to make sure it met the rules. And they had one of the tech inspectors actually come by and look at the car twice. So they made sure that I would pass tech inspection, no problem. They did a great job. And I'm definitely taking the car back there for the suspension work, because the suspension's going to have to be all custom made. That's something I'll probably won't have time for today, but I'll eventually... I'm going to do a video. It's not going to be a LS swap video. It's going to be a... I don't know. I mean, this technically has nothing to do with the LS swap, so I don't know. I need to stop calling the videos LS swap if I'm not actually... You know what I mean? Like working on the... But... I don't know. Then people might have trouble finding the video series. But... Where... Right, maybe it's the drawer that says wrenches. Okay. And there's the threads on these seats are called prevailing torque, meaning that they don't ever let go of the bolt. There's always a little bit of pressure on the bolt, however the hell that works. Which is good, it's safer, but it makes it a pain in the ass to actually get the seats in and out, of course. Probably should put this somewhere that makes more sense. Okay. Ow! I really just need to go back inside and lay on the couch. I mean, it's Christmas. Why am I working on a car on Christmas? Because I like working on cars. Doesn't seem like it with all the cussing and yelling and screaming, but I do like it. So, you know, what if I just slip this down? I don't think that's gonna fit down through there. Maybe? I think that would make my life easier if I could, like, slip this down in there. Thought that was supposed to come out, no? Guess not. Yeah, those aren't gonna... It's not gonna fit, so I'm not sure what to do. Guess got it leaned back a little bit. Can I... Come on, give me a break here. Man, I don't even know how they... I mean, I'm sure it's easier to install it on the... There's one. I'm just doing it by feel. I don't think there's any other way to do it. Come on. registered. Got it. Jeez, what a pain in the ass that was. I don't know how I'm gonna put that back together. Don't really have to worry about it right now though. Okay, so hopefully the seat will come out without too much fuss. I forgot there was a specific way to do it. When I have a windshield and doors and shit, I don't know how I'm gonna get these seats in and out. I do have to go back and yeah, okay, so you guys can see the ungodly amount of reinforcements they had to make. So yeah, I mean, I gotta go back and I gotta peel all the sticky stuff off this padding, and I mean, I guess you could leave the padding just zip tied. Whoop. That's, no, because see, it rotated in the wind. But yeah, that'll be another day, probably one of the last things I do. So Ecotech had to go and redo all these brake lines. They got the line lock, the hydro works. They mentioned to me that this wall is too weak. You can actually see the hydro flexing a little on the wall. So they basically said, they're like, look, I mean, this hydro is already here, so they're like, we don't think the hydro is mounted strong enough. So in the future we can go back and weld on a reinforcement plate whenever it starts coming off. They basically said it's not worth fixing it now because it'll work for maybe a full season at least before this metal weakens. But they at least, you know, they noticed right away, and they're like, okay, this is next on the list to fix. So they already got a little list going for me. So to get the seat down, there used to be one of these here. So they cut it, they flattened the floor, they did some seam welding to make sure that it was right, and then they welded this giant steel plate in on the bottom here. So this is thicker, maybe 3 or 4 times as thick as the factory floor, so it's not going anywhere. And this and this bar are the primary 2 things that are keeping you alive in a crash. So this and this are actually secondary, and this is like the OEM seatbelt mounting position, so it actually meets the rules since it was an OEM mount. So here the OEM seatbelt mount was this, which is not good enough, so they welded in a reinforced ring. So you have this giant steel plate and these 2 extremely high, you know, strong rings holding you down and holding you back, and then you have this holding you down and back. So as long as the roll cage survives, then you will stay in the seat where you belong. Now, whether or not you can handle the G-forces is a whole nother story, but this is now designed to keep you alive under some of the worst possible circumstances. So this is very well done. It's got good strong welding. They use the OEM mount. They welded this. They put this giant massive reinforcement plate. So now we need to get these seat brackets out so we don't get overspray on them. So that should be easy. Scared myself for a second. I was like, shit, where's my... What did I do with it? Oh. Wish I had a silver marker so I could write which one is which. However, it's pretty straightforward, and I'll just leave it in the seat. It's not going to hurt the seat, so we'll at least know which seat they go to since they're custom welded to fit that particular seat. And we'll throw the bolts in here. Got several bags of bolts. Okay, now the other seat, I have to go to the other side and do the same thing over. So I wish the car was on the lift because bending over sucks, but I don't have time to, you know, there's no reason to put the car on the lift when it's got to go right back on the trailer and go to paint. So you gotta watch out for this brake line, that you don't push your weight on the brake line. Let's see. Oh, come on. Let's see if I can get these. Like there. Oh yeah, well, for one thing, it'd help if it wasn't buckled, right? They are tight. Oh, I'm turning it the wrong way. That would help if I... Okay, got it. Okay, pull those back up through. Okay, I just need to get this one. Really being a pain in my butt. Fuck. Come on. This is bullshit. What is the deal? Understand why it's not going. Got it. Okay. Whew. Okay. All right. Whew. Okay, now for the backs. Sucks. They did all that work to put it all together. I gotta take it back apart, but I'm glad they put it together so I could sit in it and get myself tightened up and make sure everything was good. We got our co-driver Brandon in here and got him all checked and buckled in so we know that he fits too, which is good. So really doesn't want to. right. All right. Now hopefully the easy part. Fuck. It's a pain in the ass. Okay. Oh, that one's super fucking close to... Uh-oh. That one's right next to a rib on the... Oh boy, that's a problem. Shit, I keep putting my hand too close to that brake line. Come on. Okay. One of the things I gotta do is vacuum all of this crap. I don't want to bring a dirty car to Brandon. Granted, you know, you drive it down the road with no windshield and whatever, but okay. Okay, so I think it gotta go like this first, and then out. Hopefully that will still be possible with a door here. Probably put the... Well, I gotta put the doors on because the car can't even sit outside right now, which is no bueno for taking it to get work done. Like, I'm actually gonna put the windshield and the doors and the quarter windows back in after paint because the car right now can't even... Ooh, that works. Right now the car can't even sit outside, so whenever I take it somewhere, I have to miss work to take it to go straight inside. Now I'll also have to do the tail light and side marker. Oh man, I don't want to do the tail light and side marker. Wiring that one tail light was a pain enough. Okay, so wait, why'd I take the seat over there before I took the brackets off? This one seemed kind of crunchy. Okay. So I need to put the seats. Yeah, okay. Oh, wait. Oh, whoop, mistake. That was a mistake. That was a mistake. Okay. It's heavier than I expected. All right. Passenger seat on the passenger side. And the driver's seat. Ah, the brackets are fucking heavy. Are you fucking kidding me? Okay. Or I just need some food and drink. Okay. Driver's seat. All right. Whew. Okay, only a couple more things to do. Vacuuming I won't do on camera. Doesn't make sense. So they did the same thing here. They cut this out, dropped the seat, super crazy reinforcement plate, OEM hook here, super crazy reinforcement plate here. So this is gonna save your life, guaranteed. It's the G-forces that kill, not the car. So this car is one of the safest you will ever see, guaranteed. So the only roll cages I know of that are safer are WRC roll cages and then the Pikes Peak roll cages. I think Pikes Peak has the strictest roll cage regulations of any racing organization in the world. Pretty damn sure. But WRC is probably second, and then the FIA Rally is probably third. So the WRC is FIA, but I think WRC has a couple extra rules. So not going anywhere. Good, safe. Okay, so now I got to get my fancy little kill switch box out. So I had that there so we could test and make sure the seat was far enough forward that you could reach the kill switch. So now I got to take it back out. I might redo the 3D print on it to make these edges not so sharp. Granted, the 3D printer's not so cooperative right now, but so get that out, and then I don't remember what size those were. I think they were like 8s. No, 10s? Okay. Don't know if there's enough clearance to use this or not. So eventually I'll cut this bolt down to size, but right now it's not really a concern. Once I put the wiring in here, obviously the bolt will have to be trimmed to the right size. Don't want this to fall. So you can see I got kill switch in there. Obviously, it's just temporary to make sure it all fits. So I'm gonna put these bolts in here, And the way this was 3D printed was like this. That's why these are only 45 degree, because the printer can't handle anything higher than that. But yeah, and then better put that back in there so it don't get lost. This one's for the rear of the car. I don't want it, you know, put the car on a trailer and this blows off because it's not tethered to anything yet. I need to like, well, I mean, I'm going to use it to kill the fuel pump when the car's parked, like Walmart or work or whatever. So I'll have to get like one of those super crazy strong magnetic keychains and just stick it to the keychain every day when I go to, you know, anyway, not important. So that's out. I got to vacuum it. So now I need to cover the hydro and shifter so they don't get paint on them. And the VIN too. So let's see. Okay, VIN is protected. All right, now the NRG will have to be covered after we get there because we need the wheel, of course, to steer the car. Well, wait, we'll just steal the car on the trailer. Brandon thinks we can paint the car while it's on the trailer since we're only painting an interior space. I mean, obviously, that's something we want to double check, but this is eventually going to get replaced, and I don't know, I'm going to have to actually reuse this wire, which sucks because there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to run a light. Well, some of it's, yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do. Maybe cut it here and try and put a connector on it. Yeah, no good. I don't know. But, or run a new wire that just comes down here, like straight down. I don't know if there's clearance. I don't even know why I'm looking at this right now, but now I'm really intrigued. Okay. Oh yeah, there's plenty of room to have a brand new wire just drop straight down, make my life easier, and I'll just attach it to the roll cage. Actually, there's a chance I'll have to do even more paint work because they might have to come in. So there's shock mounts right here. They might have to come in and cut the shock mounts and extend them. I would rather just find off-road shocks that fit without doing that because that's very, very expensive and then it'll cause problems with the, I mean, I'll have to take the fuel tank back out, which I really don't want to do. So I'm trying to find off-road shocks that will fit in the, yeah, anyway. Okay, so he's gonna have to paint all this and then he's gonna paint all this. I don't care if the brake lines get paint on them. It's not important. I don't want that to get paint on it. So okay, no paint on her, him, whatever. Okay, the bag for those two will be probably just a normal trash bag. Don't see what else I could really use. So, got plenty of trash bags. Sorry, just that was a little OCD thing I had to do there. Okay. All right. So we are going to stick our trash bag here over. Hopefully that'll stay when we drive the car down the road. Maybe, probably won't. I don't know. We'll see. Okay. Should be able to just like stick it down. I mean, it's just protecting from overspray, so there's nothing that he has to paint except this underbar piece right here. So after all the hard work on this shifter, the last thing I want is to get any kind of paint or overspray on the leather. Okay, all right, that looks completely ridiculous, but I think that'll do the job. So yeah, all this metal, of course, has to be painted. This definitely really good paint on it, and this stuff here has to be repainted. And then under here, and then that's really it, I think. Oh yeah, under the car, I'll paint in the shop here. I'll just, because they had to scrape away some of the undercoating, which obviously is important for cars of this age that don't have good, good metal compositions, or I should say that don't have modern metal compositions. So we'll have to scrape some more undercoating away, because some of it burned away when they welded, of course, and then we'll prime it with self-etching primer, and then we'll undercoat it again, because the undercoat will get scraped off by the gravel. It's just kind of an unfortunate truth about, man, why am I breathing heavy? I need to exercise. God, you guys probably think, well, I do just sit around and play video games all day. I shouldn't say you think I do. So you guys are like, damn, this fucker doesn't ever go outside. Why am I breathing hard? Okay, do switch here. Okay, so I think it's been quite a while since I gave you guys like a walk around of everything we've done so far. So this is going to be video number 75, I think, maybe 76, I don't remember. So let's start on the front. So right now our bumper is half-ass zip tied on. We have a custom aluminum skid plate that is going to protect us from any hard impacts or big rocks. So it's kind of hard to see, but it's angled and then it's smooth under here. So if you hit a rock, it's gonna jump over the rock. It's gonna push the rock down. And same for water. So if you go through water really fast, this will prevent the water pressure from ripping off the bumper or damaging the brand new radiator. So we have a 5.3 liter custom built LS engine. It has dual, what did we put dual valve springs? I think I'm trying to remember. We put extremely strong, I'm pretty sure dual high RPM valve springs. We put in new lifter bearings, new rods. We put in a comp cams? No? We put in a high RPM, a 7200 RPM camshaft. We got our LS2 92 millimeter intake in the throttle body, wherever the hell it is. We got 8AN fuel rails, but it's going to go to 6AN through the regulator because you don't need more than 6AN for only 350, 400 horsepower. We got a Camaro water pump, big heavy-duty truck alternator. The heater hose line is sealed off for now. Eventually, it'll be ran later. I don't plan to do any races in the snow, so I might not ever need the heater core. We've got our radiator hoses are all custom made. This little kink here kind of bothers me, but there's not really anything I can do about it because there's no, I mean, I could go try and find another hose, but really, I mean, it's still going to flow. It's just going to increase the water pressure a little bit. It should still flow fine. So we've got our coolant overflow reservoir here. We're going to add a big oil cooler probably right here and cut a hole in the hood for the oil cooler. That's going to be a pain in the ass. We got a custom manual steering rack. Okay. Then we have our hella custom dual master cylinder brakes with a upgraded clutch reservoir, and it's all hidden nicely away where the old fuse box used to go, so that's awesome. And then we've got we still got our old wiper motor. We got a cover plate over where the HVAC used to go. The battery's going to go there. Right now, the battery I have is a pretty heavy-duty battery because I want the car to start every time, all the time. I'm not worried about the weight of the battery when whether or not you finish the race could be based on whether or not your car starts, right? You know, or if I have to use the starter motor to like jiggle the car up on a trailer if something goes wrong, right? So we got a NRG adapter with a quick release, slim adapter, slim quick release, and a Momo steering wheel. The horn button probably won't function. I'll probably have a horn button on a control panel here. That still hasn't been decided. Custom hydro e-brake, custom shifter, and all the linkages and stuff have been rebuilt, custom built back to the transaxle. We got a custom new, shit. I was not supposed to push on that. Oh well. We got a, actually no, not oh well. I was not supposed to push on that. Crap. Guess it would have happened eventually, but we got this custom 3D printed connector for the fuel sending unit, so hopefully it works and it's grounded. If it doesn't work, I'll have to take it all back apart and try again. It's been a huge pain in the butt, so we'll see. Man, I really did not mean to push that down. Shit, it's too late now. We got all the wiring is going to be, ooh, that looks important. all the wiring is going to be Metropack MetroPack custom wiring, so all waterproof basically, or splash proof, or however you want to say it, and it'll all be sheathed and custom made. Obviously right now it's just hanging here, but I'm probably gonna, like, you know, find a way to fancy it up and get it tucked away. We have a fuel pump cut off, so if something goes wrong, somebody can shut off the fuel pump from the back if it doesn't shut off for some reason. We're going to do custom suspension. That's another video for another day. We got the roll cage, of course, and the seats. You just saw that. So, yeah, I expected more to talk about. That's really it. I mean, we still got a lot of work to do, but we're getting there. We're gonna have to cut the hood into pieces to get all this to fit. I mean, we're gonna get like a big 6-inch hood cowl so that we can fit all of our intake parts. Probably cut this out and run an intake through here, like Corvette style. We might be able to sawzall out enough space to get a Corvette intake through here and have the air filter sit like right here where it's safe from water. Now, airflow wise, I don't know, we'll see. Some people cut holes right here, but then you'll get water in your filter, so we might shoot the filter over here, like, and stick it right here behind the headlight. That's one thing I need to install. I need to get the headlights installed before I do the oil cooler or the air filter, because the headlights will take up a lot of space. You could even put the air filter through here down into the fender, but I think this maybe was for a turbo version of the car, not too sure. Yeah, I don't know, there's still a long ass way to go. I mean, a long ass way to go, but we're getting there, so maybe another full year, unfortunately. I was gonna try and expedite a bunch of stuff for getting ready for March. That's not gonna happen. I ran out of money again, so gonna do little things here and there that are either free because I already have parts everywhere, or that I can at least afford to do. So yeah, well, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.